Initiators. Today's lecture is related with the O levels, and this lecture we discuss about find out the solution of the quadratic equations. There are three ways to solve the quadratic equations. One is by the factorization. Okay. The second method, we are using the completing the square. And the third one is quadratic formula. Okay. First, we are going to try the factorization, and then if that factorization is not possible for the equation, so we use the method of completing the square. And after all, we have every question will be solved by the quadratic formula. This is the last option we are doing. So I'm going to start the questions from the factorization, so how to solve with the factorization, and then we'll discuss later about the completing a square and then the quadratic formula. So here the question is x squared plus x minus 6 equals to 0, and we are going to solve this equation by factorization. So for factorization, we just first check it out. So what is the number, what is the last constant number over here? The number over here is 6. So we are finding out the factors of this number. So the first factor is 1 multiplied by 6, 1 6 is 6, and the second two factors are there. When we multiply 2 multiply with the 3, so 2 3s are 6. Okay, after all, when we find out the factors, and third factor is 3 multiply with the 2, 3 2s are 6. So these are the factors. So when there are three pairs of factors over here, the first factor pair is 3 2, the second factor pair is 2 3, and the third factor pair is 1 6. So we just find out the factor in which when we subtract it and find out the middle value. Like over here there is a minus sign, so this minus sign indicate that we are just subtracting the factors. So whenever we have a plus sign over here, so we adding the factors. Okay, so here right now we have a negative sign, so that's why we are subtracting the factors and find out the result of the middle number. So here this factor or this factor, so we are taking this factor. So there are two ways to subtracting number. The one way is plus 2 and minus 3, and the second way is minus 2 and plus 3. So if we are subtracting plus 2 and minus 3, so you have a result is minus 1, because the greater value sign is negative, so that's why we are taking the minus 1. The second part is minus 2 plus 3, so answer is a plus 1. Okay, so whenever we have plus 1, here I have a minus 1, here I have a plus 1. What I want the plus 1 over here, because the coefficient over here plus 1. So these two factors we utilize over here, minus 2 and plus 3. So if I'm going to factorize it, so x square, we do not write this middle term, we writing instead of the middle term we can write these two numbers. The first number over here plus we can take either the number minus 2 first or 3. So here I'm taking the first number is 3, so there is a 3, and the variable over here x, so you can take this variable. Then here is a minus 2, so you can take minus and then 2, and the variable is same, minus 2x, and the last value is minus 6 equals to 0. Right now we have a 4 terms over here, so we just break it in two parts. The first part this, and the second part is this one. So first find what is a common variable or constant number over here. So the common over here x, so you can take x out. So what's the remaining over here? The remaining part is x, and you took the x outside, so you have a 3 over here. Okay, after it, what is a number? There is a negative sign is common, so you can take the negative sign, and then see there is a 2 and there is a 6. The multiple of 2 is a 6, so that's why you take the 2 outside. So what's the remaining here? The remaining over here x, then you take the minus sign out, that's why the minus sign is common from these two numbers. So this minus minus, this number going to be plus, and as well as the minus minus, this number is also plus. So 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, and 2 3s are 6. So you can divide it, 6 divided by 2, so you have a 3 right now. So then you see that, so the two brackets are the same, so you can take the common. So you have a x plus 3, and the second you have a x minus 2, and that is equals to 0. So you have a two pairs of the numbers, so both are two brackets are equal to 0, so you can take separately, you can take it right in this way: x plus 3 equals to 0 and x minus 2 as well as equals to 0. So x plus 3 equals to 0. If you transpose it on the right hand side, so you have a x equals to minus 3, and here you have a x equals to plus 2, because the negative sign switching over there, so it's going to be positive. So these two are the answers. So the solution of this is minus 3 and 2. So this is your answer. Okay. Right now we have another question over here: 2x square plus 21 equals to 13x. So first you just write down this equation in the standard form. So what is the standard form? The standard form is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. This is a standard form. So you can write this equation in the standard form first and then you factorize it. Before of changing into a standard form, do not factorize it and do not try to factorize it. So here you have a 2x square. You can take this 13x, the second value. So here you have there's a positive number that transposes on the left hand side. You have a 13x in the negative sign, and then you put the plus 21 equals to 0. So this is a standard form, and then you just multiply this 21 multiply with the 2. So you have a 42. So then you find the factors of it. 1 multiplied by 42. Then 2 multiplied with 21, you have 42. Then 3 multiplied with the 14, you have 42. In the table of 4 and table of 5, the 42 will not come. So then you can take the 6 multiply with the 7 and you have 42. So there is a plus sign, so you take the factors, you take the pair of factors and we add them and find out the middle value. There is no possibility, so we adding these numbers and find the 13. There is no possibility of it, then this is not. But 6 and 7 we adding each other, so we have a 13. For addition, there are two ways of addition. Like that we have a two ways of subtraction. Like that we have a two ways of addition. So plus 6 and plus 7, you have a plus of 13. And you have a minus 6 and minus 7, you have a minus of 13. So what you want minus 13, so that's why you take these two factors. Okay, so there is a 2x square. Okay, you put these factors instead of this 13x, so you have minus 6x and then minus 7x plus 21 equals to 0. Okay, so right now you have a two brackets here in this way. The first one, you see you have a 2 as a common, so you can take out that common and the x variable. So 2 is there, x is there, so remaining is x only, because there is x square, so you took over x only. Then minus sign, 2 3 is 6, so only 3, because x you took outside. Then close this bracket. What is a common here? So you take the minus as a common, and then 7, and the multiple of 7 is 21, so that's why 7 as a common outside. Then you have what you have remaining here, x only. Then you took out the minus as a common, so here no minus plus has a minus sign. 7 3 is a 21, 3 is there and equals to 0. This is a bracket, this is a bracket the same, so we can take it x minus 3, the first one, and the second bracket is 2x minus 7 equals to 0. These two brackets are equals to 0. We take it separately, so x minus 3 equals to 0, and then 2x minus 7 equals to 0. So x is equals to 3 and 2x is equals to 7, and then x is equals to 7 upon 2. So now we have two values right now. The first value is 3 and the second value is 7 upon 2. So this is your answer. Alright, now we have another question. Here 2x multiplied with the 4x minus 1 equals to 15. So first you multiply them, and 2 4s are, you have a 8x squared, and then 2x multiplied with the 1, you have a 2x only, and then equals to 15. It's not a standard form, you have to convert it in standard. So you have 8x squared minus 2x minus 15 equals to 0. So 15 8s are, you can find it, 15 8s are 120. So there is a number 120 comes over here. So you found the factors of 120. 1 multiply with the 120, then 2 multiply with the 60, you have a 120, and then in the table of 3 you have 3 40s are, and like that. If 10 multiply with the 12, so you have a 120. So you can see that over here minus sign, whenever you have minus sign you subtract them. So 10 multiplied minus 12, you have a 2. So there are two ways of subtraction the numbers. There's one way is plus 10 minus 12, and the second is minus 10 plus 12. In the first one, you whenever you can solve these 10 plus 10 minus 12, you have a negative 2, and here you have a positive 2. Okay, so what you want a negative 2, so that's why these two numbers are the factors. So the first factor is first number is 8x squared, and then you put this factor, so here's a plus 10x and then minus 12x minus 15 equals to 0. You want to take the common from here, so this put the brackets. So then here you see that, so there's a common 2 here, and then the variable x, so 2 ones are 2, 2 fours are 8, so 4x, then 2 5s are 10, so here 5, because you took the x as a common outside. Here's a negative sign as a common, and then you can see that, so these two numbers comes in the table of 3, so you can take the 3, and then you can take the maximum common, so 3 fours are, so 4x, and the minus minus plus 3 5s are 15, so 5 equals to 0. Then you see here you have a 2, the first bracket is 4x plus 5, and the second bracket is 2x minus 3 equals to 0. So that doesn't matter, you can take first 2x minus 3 and then 4x minus plus 5. There's no change in it. So there's two parts of it. 4x plus 5 equals to 0. The second is 2x minus 3 equals to 0. If you take our that plus 5 on that side, so 4x equals to minus 5, and x is equals to minus 5 upon 4, and here 2x is equals to 3, and x is equals to 3 upon 2. So the solution over here, minus 5 upon 4 and 3 upon 2. Okay, so you see, I hope that you will understand well about how to solve the quadratic equation with the help of factorization. Inshallah, in next video we will discuss about the completing a square method, and then the quadratic formula and the application of quadratic formula, and there's some related verb problems. So this is enough for today. Inshallah, we'll meet in the next video. So Allah.